Welcome to the Best View in Davos. The theme for the WEF this year is Collaboration for the Intelligent Age. And I want to bring that conversation to this very stage with a region that is really trying to transform its economy and two private companies that are really at the forefront of people and digital infrastructure.
Qatar launched its Qatar National Vision back in 2008, very early on. And since then, we've launched a number of what we call national development strategies. These are strategies that have detailed targets and they run towards the same overall objective, which is transforming Qatar to a knowledge-based economy. What do we really mean by that? I would put it in this way, is to transform the economy from one that is based on natural resources as a primary driver for growth to one that is based on human capital. We do that primarily via the promotion and facilitation of foreign direct investment. We do that via a number of different functions, which includes the promotion of Qatar as an investment destination. We have a very strong facilitation role where we help businesses discover opportunities, connect them to the local ecosystem of state-owned enterprises or agencies. And as well as we have a strong research and policy advocacy role where we work with our investors, understand any regulatory or policy changes that needs to be made and advocate on their behalf to the public sector to make these changes happen. We also have a role in driving incentives across the state.
Knowing what you want to achieve is very important at the very beginning. And I think then investing long term with a goal in mind is the second thing. I think when we look at the region, when we look also at especially China, and we look at the special economic zones that started there with a very long-term goal in mind, then we look at the infrastructure that was built over time with a long-term goal in mind, not building for today, but building for 10, 15 years from now. I think Qatar is an example of that. And that then extends to infrastructure per se.
If you have a long-term view, you know where you want to build on your industries, on your expertise. You can define how you can launch at scale a plan in order to upskill people or to migrate people or to take care about diversity of your people. And if you take Middle East as the whole region, you see that first you have a geographical position, which is in the middle of. It's like a trade hub for many companies now, and you see logistic and supply chain being very strong and looking for lots of competencies there.
If you look at the Middle East, maybe the GCC, on a Mercator map, it looks like it's in the center of the earth, but it connects Europe, Africa, and Asia, around 8.5 trillion in GDP within 3,000 kilometers. And there is a unique proposition in developing the logistics sector, which has been the fastest growing non-hydrocarbon sector in our economy. One of the primary drivers to reach what we call a knowledge-based economy is twofold. So we have both the development of homegrown human capital, which is why Qatar has made a large investment in the educational infrastructure. It includes developing of indigenous homegrown universities, but also attracting foreign universities to have their campuses in Qatar, and that serves as well the wider Middle East. But aside from that, it is also the attraction and retention of talent that is very important. Last year in Web Summit, we launched an initiative called Startup Qatar. Part of that, it includes an investment program. And in there, we had thousands of applications of entrepreneurs who were looking either to access finance capital or looking for infrastructure or a base of operations in Qatar as well. So we got a sense of the demand, but also it's been on us to develop the right legal framework to have them not just come to Qatar to work, but to think of Qatar as a second home. And that is actually a pretty difficult task. But I think over time, Qatar has developed a very unique value proposition, both in terms of safety, connectivity, a very sound economic situation, and also stability, which the region lacks somewhat.
The region's geography is very competitive. You've said that. It connects a lot of industries. It connects a lot of supply chains. All these industries and supply chains need to decarbonize fast, right? We know that. The best way of doing that is leveraging digital means, right? So we see the world of IoT and the world of industry coming together. The region is also very innovative, right? As is Asia, probably more innovative and more willing to take risks on new technologies than other parts of the world. And I think this is something that differentiates it. So as a businessman, it's a good place to invest, frankly, because you get a lot of scale and you get a lot of other players, regional players, players in Asia, looking at what is happening there and copying it.
And it's not just the attraction of talent, but also you need the right initiatives, both in increasing government and private sector spending on research and development, increasing or revitalizing the venture cap ecosystem, and also working on building market access as well. And we've seen a number of initiatives that try to tackle that.
The region has become very cool, and that's a new thing. That wasn't like that 20 years ago. It has become a tourism destination, absolutely. And for people all across the world, it is a place, young people especially, go on Instagram, look what people look at. They want to work there, they want to be there. It's a phenomenon. And I think it fuses Arabic culture, Gulf culture, Western culture, Asian culture in one place. And I think that makes it a very interesting microcosm for a more integrated world. And I think that's a very attractive thing. And I think that is something I would, as a regional decision maker, leverage more. It's not something to be frightened of, it's something to embrace, because people want to come and you can get the best people. So, leverage the fact that people want to come, want to work there.